This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. In this Business Intelligence Master Program, this is our 28th session. In this session, we are going to see deep dive into tumbling window trigger in Azure Data Factory. Okay, so this is also very important. So if you want to load your historical data or you want to maintain any trigger dependency, we need to go with the tumbling window. So yesterday we have seen event-based trigger, right? So what it means, like it is going to respond for the events such as any blob creation, any blob deletion, right? So even we have verified whenever we have empty blob created, our event blob is not responding. So that's how we have configured it. So today we are going to see tumbling window trigger. So this is also very important. For most of the cases you are going with the tumbling window. So we will see all the scenarios today. So we will learn scenarios. Okay, what is trigger? Okay, how many types of triggers available in ADF-V2? These two things we already have seen, but we will see once again. What is tumbling based trigger? Okay, how to create windows in this, how to create dependency trigger, how to run windows parallelly. So what is window, if you know? So we will see how to run windows
Malaya, we
parallelly.
are not able to see your PPT if you are sharing. Yeah, now we are able to see.
Able to see now?
Yes.
Sorry, sir. Thank you. So good morning, friends. In this Business Intelligence Master Program, today we are going to talk about deep dive into tumbling window. Tumbling window means this is another type of trigger in Azure Data Factory. Basically, yesterday we have seen event-based trigger. Event-based trigger means it is going to respond for the event, such as any file arrived into the blob storage or data lake storage gen 2. It is going to trigger a pipeline. Any file is deleted in your blob storage or data lake storage gen 2. It is going to trigger your pipeline based on what pipelines should respond for deletion of the file, what pipeline should respond for like loading a new file into the storage. You need to configure those things. Yesterday we have seen all of those things, and we also have seen whenever empty file is uploaded into the blob storage or data lake storage into how to avoid running pipeline, that we have seen. So today we are going to talk about another type of trigger, that is tumbling window trigger. Okay, what is tumbling window trigger? So if you want to load historical data, that is nothing but from 2010 to today, we have last 10 years data you want to load into your cloud. Okay, if you have last 10 years data in on-premise, this 10 years data you want to load it into the cloud, then you need to use the tumbling window to schedule this particular pipelines. Okay, how you want to load this data. So let's say from 2010 to 2020, 10 years. 10 years means 10 into 365 days. Okay, let's say how much, 3650 days. So meaning what you need to do, you have total 3650 days last 10 years data if you want to load. Now your choice whether you want to load one day data, or you want to load weekly data, or you want to load, so depends how you want to load the data. Maybe you want to load hourly data, you want to load daily data. If you are going to load daily data, how many times we need to run our pipeline? 3650 times. I'm repeating again, I am copying data from 2010 to 2020. It's a 10 years data. 10 years means 10 into 365 days, meaning 3650 days. Now if I'm going to run my pipeline, if I want to load data daily, total how many days I have? 3650 days I have. So when I run my pipeline to load this 10 years data, how many times I need to run my pipeline? 3650 times I need to run the pipeline. Okay, if I'm going with hours, so it's a huge amount of like 3650 times into 24 you need to add, because per day we will have 24 hours. So each day we need to run 24 times if you are going to load hourly data from 2010 to till today. Okay, we will talk more about with practical so that you can understand. Those are called as windows. So whether that processing, so you want to load hourly, then one window size is going to be hour. So if you are going to load data like daily, the window size is going to be 24 hours. So we will talk about those things in detail. So in today's session we will talk about scenarios, which we are going to cover. What is trigger, how many types of triggers available in ADF-V2, we already talked about those things. Next, we are going to see tumbling based trigger. What is tumbling based trigger? As I have given little information, so it's going to create some kind of a windows based on how you want to load your data. So it will process those windows, right? So it will create the windows as I said, and you not only creating the windows, you can maintain some kind of a dependency. You have a two pipelines, pipeline 1 and pipeline 2. If pipeline 1 succeeded, then only I need to run the pipeline 2. Such type of dependency you can create. This is one of the very important interview question. People will always ask how you will maintain the dependency between the pipelines. If one pipeline succeeded, then only I want to run the another pipeline. How you will run? So by using a dependency trigger, you can do by using tumbling trigger. We have a two things you can do in tumbling based trigger. One is you can load the historical data. Second one is you can maintain the dependency. Okay, so this is one of the way to maintain the dependency between the ADF, like dependency between the pipelines in Azure Data Factory. But there are other ways. This is only one of the solution, but there are other solutions available. We will discuss all of those things. Okay, next, how to run Windows parallel. As we discussed, if we are going to load data daily for last 10 years, how many windows it will create? How many windows it will create, Pawan?
3650.
Very good. So 3650. So now you have total 3650 times you need to run a pipeline. So Windows you can run parallelly means 50 days data at a time you can load at a time. It's nothing but a parallelly 50 windows you can able to run it. Okay, maximum you can run 50 days, like 50 windows you can run at a time. That also you can configure it. We will see. Next, we will see the difference between scheduled trigger and tumbling based trigger. This is also one of the very important interview question. People will ask you what is the difference between scheduled trigger and tumbling based trigger when we will go for tumbling, when we will go for schedule. So this is also one of the interview question that you need to focus. Next, how to use tumbling trigger captured properties. So tumbling trigger will tell you, so there are different properties. One is when this trigger started. Trigger start time is if it is running now, it will be a today date. Next, window start time. Window start time means our first window when it will start, 2010 January 1st. What time it is going to start? 1 o'clock, something like that. Okay. When that first window will end, exactly at the next day, meaning 2010 January 2nd, 1 o'clock. Exactly, it's a 24 hours window size, means from January 1st to January 2nd. January 1st, 1 o'clock to January 2nd, 1 o'clock in 2010. So that is 24 hours. That is a one window, right? So now when you ask window start time, window end time, it will tell you 2010 January 1st. The time is 010000 AM. The window end time is 2010 01 January 2nd, 1 o'clock 0 minutes 0 seconds AM. What is your second trigger start time and end time? Your second window start time and end time is, second window is, can you guess it and tell me, friends, what is the second window start time and end time?
2010 January 2nd, 1 AM is the start
Very
time.
good. It's the start time. End time?
2010 January 3rd, 1 AM.
Very good. So that's called, that is correct. Okay, that is correct. Next, we are going to see estimations. Okay, we are going to capture those things. I will tell you why we need to capture those window start time and time. Next, we are going to see estimations, prerequisite and required resources, then demo. So we are going to create a data lake storage gen 2. So I'm going to maintain a files in my data lake storage gen 2. Let's imagine I have files from 2010. Okay, so I want to load the files from 2010, something like that. Okay, so next I'm going to create a Azure Data Factory v2, which is going to process all the files. Next, we need to create a linked service for data lake storage gen 2 with the keyword using integration runtime. As I mentioned in our earlier session, from the day we have learned keyword, next all sessions I'm going to use the keyword service because this is important. Okay, next, create data sets. We are going to create data sets, create pipeline, run pipeline with tumbling trigger. Okay, we are going to run this pipeline with the trigger. Now we are not going to run pipeline manually. Next, I'm going to monitor the pipeline. Okay, fine. So scenario, see How to create tumbling trigger and a run pipeline. So we are going to see how to create a tumbling trigger and run the pipeline. How to create tumbling trigger with a dependency trigger. So let's say I will create two pipelines. So what I am trying to do is my first pipeline successfully loaded 2010 January data. Then only my second pipeline will go and pick the 2010 January data. If my first pipeline failed to pick the data, second pipeline will not run itself. Okay. Once pipeline one successfully executed, then second pipeline will execute. Okay. Next, how to set offset in tumbling trigger. So I will tell you offset means basically offset. I will discuss with the graphs, some kind of a visual so that you will have more clarity. Next, how to execute multiple windows parallelly. We are going to see we have a direct configuration we have to tell. Once you understood the windows, you just have to tell the concurrency, whether concurrency is 2 or 3. Okay. So those are the 4 scenarios we are going to cover. You see, these are the 4 scenarios we are going to cover in today's lab. Let's see what is trigger. So you know, triggers are another way that you can execute a pipeline run. Triggers represent a unit of processing that determines when a pipeline execution needs to be kicked off. So we already talked about triggers will tell you, triggers will have information when this particular pipeline should run. Okay, so how many types of triggers we have? We have 3 types of triggers: schedule trigger, tumbling window trigger, event based trigger. We already learned event based trigger. Today we are going to see tumbling window trigger. Tumbling window trigger means a trigger that operates on a periodic intervals while also retaining the state. Okay, so periodic interval means that is depends on you. So you want like every 1 day period interval, or that particular interval is hour or 24 hours. That is, you need to configure. Based on that, it is going to run your pipeline. Event based means for events it's going to respond. Schedule trigger means a trigger that invokes a pipeline on wall clock schedule. Maybe it's a fixed. Okay, I want to run pipeline at 4 o'clock. I want to run pipeline at 8 o'clock. Okay, while also retaining state means you will have the state whether it is succeeded or failed. If it is succeeded or failed, based on that you can maintain the dependency. Okay, schedule trigger means a trigger that invokes the pipeline on a wall clock schedule. What it means is based on time, maybe 4 o'clock I want to run a pipeline, or 8 o'clock I want to run a pipeline. Then you need to schedule a trigger, meaning you need to schedule your pipeline. Let's see, as we discussed already, schedule trigger and event based trigger are many to many relationship. One trigger can be attached to a multiple pipelines. One pipeline can have a multiple triggers. Okay, I'm repeating again, multiple triggers can attach to a single pipeline. Okay, next, one trigger can be attached to a multiple pipelines. Okay, that is nothing but one to many relationship. Tumbling window trigger is not like that. Tumbling window trigger is a one-to-one relationship. If you are using this one trigger, tumbling window trigger for one pipeline, you cannot use same trigger in other pipeline. Okay, that is the load history data using tumbling window. See here, we are going to talk about only tumbling window. Let's say trigger start time is 2020-10-01. My trigger end time is 2020-10-07 1 a.m. My frequency is 24 hours, meaning my window size is 24 hours. Can you guess it and tell me how many windows I will have within this time? Please tell me, just check it. 1 to 2, one window, 2 to 3, one more window, something like that. Guess it and tell me, friends. I will give you 1 minute.
7. Sorry, 6.
6, correct. You are right. We will have a 6 windows. Let's see. Our first window, it will start at 2020-10-01 1 a.m. It will end at 2020-10-02 1 a.m. You understood? If the frequency is 24 hours, my first window will pick the data from October 1st to October 2nd, 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. It will pick the data. Okay. So my window 2 will start from this time, 0 to 1 a.m. It will end to, what is the end time? Tell me, friends. What is the end time? End time is October 3. Next, let's go to the W3 here, Windows 3. In Windows 3, you see 2020-10-03. See, till 3rd. Okay, see, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Here, this should be 3 to October 3 to 4. Next window is going to be, it will start from 4th, it will end at 5th. Next window, it will start at 5th and it will end at 6th. Window 6, it will start at 6th, it will end at 7th. Because I want to only process data up to 7. So these many windows it is going to create. Now the question is, how you want to execute these windows? Do you want to execute one by one? Or you want to execute all these windows, meaning all this data you want to run at a time. So you created these windows. Pipeline is going to run once for executing this window. Pipeline is going to run one more time for executing this window. But now the question is, all these processing, all this processing should happen at once, or you want to happen one by one sequence. That you can configurable. That is configurable. Up to 50 windows you can able to run it at a time. You understood, friends? Now what is window? Now with this, I am going to ask you one question. I want to process only October 1st data, 24 hours data I want to process. Now the frequency is 24 hours. How many windows I will have?
One window.
Why one window? I am saying frequency is 1 hour.
Oh, frequency is 1 hour. Okay, okay. So
0 to 1, 1 to 2. So total we have a 24 hours a day. So we'll have a 24 hour, 24 windows. Clear?
yeah.
Let's say now we'll talk about the tumbling trigger dependency. So dependency means you see here offset you have a trigger A and a trigger B. Now what happens is A is dependent on B. A trigger is dependent on B. Okay, if B is successfully executed, then I want to execute A. You don't confuse. If B is executed successfully, then I want to execute A. Now the question is how you want to check offset 0. Offset 0 means like if your time is if your frequency is hourly, then if this particular like pipeline 2 is ran successfully from 9 to 10, then pipeline 2 also will run from 9 to 10. If pipeline 1 is ran successfully from 10 to 11, then pipeline 2 also will run from 10 to 11. Meaning, if this is successful in this window, this also will run. If this is successful in this window, this also will run for this window, means 10 to 11. But when I take offset equal to -1, when I take offset equal to -1, it is kind of a something like this. See, if this window successfully executed, okay, here it is not going to execute because this, don't confuse here, because this is dependent on the previous window of pipeline 1. Now you see, if -1 means this window is not dependent on this window, meaning direct, it's not a direct relation, it's a something like this. 9 to 10 o'clock window is successful in our pipeline 1. See, from now you please observe, from 9 to 10 window is successful in this pipeline, then here 10 to 11 pipeline will execute, meaning previous trigger, previous execution of pipeline 1, based on previous execution of pipeline 1, your current pipeline will execute. Understood? Previous execution means previous window, 9 to 10 of your pipeline 1 is successfully executed, then your pipeline 2 will execute from 10 to 11, because -1 means previous window. If the previous window is successful, then in pipeline 2 current window will execute. How many of you understood this? Please let me know when. How many of you not understood? I will explain once again.
As per my understanding, first one is like if it is a offset 0 means there is no dependency. Like if the trigger B is executed, automatically the trigger A will execute at the same time, right?
Exactly. So if trigger B is executed from 9 to 10 successfully, trigger A also will execute from 9 to 10 successfully. Once it is successful, then only it will run. If it is failed, it will not run. That is for sure. The question is here, if 9 to 10 of this trigger is successful, here also 9 to 10 of window will run. Here 10 to 11 of window is successful, then 10 to 11 of window, here it will run. But here, if the 9 to 10 window is successful, here 10 to 11 meaning next hour a trigger will run. Current trigger 9 to 10 trigger, if you want to run in this here in this pipeline, here previous trigger meaning 8 to 9 o'clock trigger should be successful. Okay.
Sir, in the first scenario, both B and A will run parallelly, or how, sir?
No.
You are saying,
Parallel not going to execute. It's a dependent. Once it is executed successfully, then only it will execute.
okay, whether it is run half an hour or 15 minutes, until unless that trigger A will wait.
See,
Is it
minus 1 hour. You see here, offset is minus 1 hour, meaning this particular pipeline is going to check previous. Minus 1 hour means what? Previous. You need to go back. Minus means you need to go back, right? So this trigger previous window will be verified in the this particular pipeline current window. This pipeline current window is dependent on the this pipeline previous window.
Okay, sir.
Minus
What about
1
this
hour.
one? What
Zero.
about zero?
There is no zero means if here 9 to 10 is successful, here also 9 to 10 will run. Here, if the 9 to 10 is successful, here 9 to 10 will not run. Why? Because 9 to 10 is dependent on the previous trigger. Previous trigger means 8 to 9. 8 to 9 run. If the 8 to 9 run is successful here, then 9 to 10 will run because minus 1 hour. Okay, here this should be go back. You need to check the previous window. Minus 1 hour.
So, as per my understanding, after zero means there is no dependency, right, sir?
Again, you are coming. There is no dependency. You are saying. I repeated twice. There is a dependency. See, first I will explain once again from the beginning. Now, please understand from the beginning. See, 9 to 10. So let's imagine something like this. Trigger B, trigger A, leave it. This is a pipeline 1. This is a pipeline 2. My pipelines are going to run every hour. First thing, please remember, my pipelines are going to run every hour. This is a 9 to 10. This is 10 to 11. This pipeline is succeeded. 9 to 10 pipeline is ran successfully. Once it is successfully ran, that status will verify by this pipeline, and this also will run successfully. Okay. Once this is done, here this will run another hour, right? Another hour. Now the time is 10 to 11. So this pipeline will run again. This is successful. This will run. Okay. So this is the offset zero, meaning same time two pipelines are going to run. Meaning, but there is a dependency. Once this is successful, then only this is going to run. But the timing is 9 to 10 window only. 9 to 10 window only. This window will start, but it will wait. It will start at 9 o'clock only, but it will keep on waiting. It will not start execution. It will keep on waiting until this particular window successful. Now, when you come here, so 9 to 10, when you execute pipeline 1, okay, pipeline 2 will not execute. Nothing is going to happen. The reason is it's an offset minus 1. Minus 1 means previous window. You need to find out the previous window. That's why don't worry. Now you just check, you just think something like this. 9 to 10 is not there here. Remove this. Okay. Now you have pipeline 1, pipeline 2. You ran pipeline 1 from 9 to 10. Okay, that's all. Only pipeline 1 you are going to run from 9 to 10. Next, nothing is going to happen here. Okay. Now, same pipeline 1 is going to run from 10 to 11. When pipeline started running from 10 to 11, this pipeline is going to run from 10 to 11. Okay. So how it is going to run is, it is going to check the previous execution of pipeline 1. The previous execution is, this is your previous execution. If this previous execution is successfully executed, then current execution will happen in this pipeline. But now this is successful. Now what happens? Next year, 11 to 12 window will start and it will execute. Here 11 to 12 window here also will start executing. Why? Because here 10 to 11 window is successful. Previous time, see this is the previous window 10 to 11. Here it is going to run 11 to 12. Why? 11 to 12 is dependent on 10 to 11 window of this pipeline, because minus 1 hour meaning 1 hour back trigger, 1 hour back trigger. If 1 hour back trigger is successful, then only current trigger will run. How many
Clear,
of you
sir.
clear?
Clear, sir. Thank you. Sir, the offset value is, what is the default value, sir, for the offset?
0. Default is 0. You need to put, so do you want minus 1 hour or minus 2 hour?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now let's say next thing is, so here you see offset is minus 1 hour. Same thing. Offset is minus 1 hour. Size, window size you are not specifying. Now offset is minus 1 hour. Window size is 2 hours, meaning each window is a 2 hours, meaning if second pipeline 10 to 11 if you want to run, it is dependent on these two windows. Your first execution should happen 9 to 10, 10 to 11 both should happen, because window size is 2 hours. If this 2 hours trigger is successfully executed, then only your current pipeline will execute. This pipeline window will execute 10 to 11. This 10 to 11 is dependent from 9 o'clock, because minus 1 hour offset. When minus 1 hour offset means 10 to 11 is dependent on 9 to 10. 10 to 11 is dependent on 9 to 10. But window size is 2 hours, meaning not only 9 to 10, it is also dependent on the one more window, that is 10 to 11. When you combine these two windows, then only window size will come 2 hours. That's why clearly you see this window is dependent on these two windows. Okay, so fine. If you're not able to understand, okay, I am going to give you examples. Right. So here the trigger start time is 10:01, trigger end time is 10:07. Now you see frequency is 24 hours, offset is 0. My window started at 2010 01, like sorry 2020 October 1st 1 o'clock. Window 1 started. This is a pipeline 1. Pipeline 2 window also will start. When it is going to start? It is going to start. 1 second. Once, I think. Yeah, this is also fine. Now you see, it's something like this. So offset is 0. Offset is 0 means if the pipeline ran here, 1 second, I think it will confuse you. Let me just modify the dates here. I need to modify small dates. How come it is something? Okay, now you see. Okay, now you see, friends, window 1 started. So this is pipeline 1. Please focus, because if you're not focusing, you will not be able to understand. This is pipeline 1. This is pipeline 2. Okay. Now in pipeline 1, if 2020 October 1st 1 a.m. pipeline will run first time. When it ran, once it is successful, then only your pipeline 2 will start executing at same time. That is a offset 0 means at same time your pipeline 2 also will run, but this pipeline will not run from 1 o'clock. From 1 o'clock execution will like pipeline will keep on waiting for the status of pipeline 1. If the pipeline 1 status is received by this pipeline saying that okay, pipeline 1 status is successful, then it will come and it will execute the pipeline 2. Like it will start executing this pipeline 2 at same time. Same time means time is crossed, but it was waiting, right? Maybe the time maybe 1 o'clock 2 minutes or 1 o'clock 3 minutes. Maybe if this pipeline took some 2 minutes to execute, from 1 o'clock 2 minutes, this pipeline will start executing now. because this is waiting for the pipeline 1 status. Now, let's say once this is both are successfully completed, whether both are successful or not, it doesn't matter. But window 1 will start executing one by one. Once the window 1 is successful, window 2 will start executing. In window 2, you observe here, it is started from like October 2nd. So now this is pipeline 1. Pipeline 2 also will start for October 2nd. Now what happens? Pipeline 2, this pipeline 1, pipeline 2, both will start. But pipeline 1 will start executing the activities. Pipeline 2 will wait. It will not start executing any activities. It will keep on waiting for the status of pipeline 1. The pipeline 1 status it is received, then it will start executing the activities. Same goes here. So next window 3, it started on October 3rd, and window 3 here it will start. Pipeline 2 also will start at same time. So pipeline 3 will execute here. Pipeline 1 will start executing the activities. Here window 3, that is pipeline 2, will wait until pipeline 1 status received. So once pipeline 1 status is received, now pipeline 2 will execute. Here also like window 4, pipeline 1, window 4, they started at October 4. Now at same time, this pipeline 2, window 4 also will start. Pipeline 2, window 4 also will start, but it will keep on waiting for the status of pipeline 1. Once it is received status, then it will run. Next window 5 will start. Here also it will start. It will wait. Once it receives status, it will start. Same thing here. You understood offset 0 means it is waiting. It is waiting. At same time, it will start, but it is waiting. Now let's go with another example. Trigger time, start time is 10:01, trigger end time is 10:07, frequency is 24 hours, offset equal to -1. It's a -1. Now you see window 1 started 10:01. Okay, nothing happened. So pipeline 2 is not starting anything. Okay, 2020 10:02 window 2 started. Now you see here what is happening. What is happening? Now this 10:02 will run. 10:02 will start executing. But this 10:02 is dependent on what, friends? Dependent on this window. See this window. If this window is successful, then it is going to run. Next, here window 3 will start. Here window 2 will start. Now what happens? This window 2 is dependent on this window 2. This window 2 dependence. -1 means. Next window 3, window 4 started here. Window 3 will start here. So window 3 is dependent on this window. A window 5 started here. Window 4 here it will start. This window 4 is dependent on here. Now what happens if the window 4 is failed? Then here window 4 will not execute in pipeline 2 because this pipeline 2 is dependent on window 4 here. But we have some retry option. If something failed, we can put some kind of a retry options. It will retry once again. This is a window 5. Next window 6, window 5 started here, it will start something. Okay, window 6 only. I have final one, window 6. So this window 6 is dependent on this.
Sir, ఇక్కడ time is the same time, date and time.
What date and time? What date and time, you know?
Trigger window 1 and window 2 same
Yeah, see,
date.
yes, so it is going to start at same date and time. Same date and time it is going to start. Okay, but it will keep on waiting. It will keep on waiting for the status of this window. See, don't see it will be a lot of confusion if you are not able to understand. Okay, so that's why many people will not teach all these things. See, now you need to understand one thing, that today date is November. This is all in a October, meaning this is history data. These all timings already over. These all dates are you are not waiting for coming. These all are gone already. So Windows will run, keep on wait. It won't wait for 24 hours. It will keep on running one by one because all these are the past dates, historical data I'm running. These all are the October. October means already October over. Now we are in a November month. So as it is already historical data, so it will keep on running. It won't wait. Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, have one doubt, sir.
Tell me.
How long it will wait, sir? Is there any timeout option? Is there?
Like this one window. This
Hello?
window will wait forever. This window will wait forever if you are not sending any status for this.
Okay. For example, if the window 2 is depend upon the some other jobs in the like in downstreams, how long you can wait, sir? Like
How long it will wait? That's what I'm saying. If this is successful, then only it will execute. If this is keep on waiting, it is executing for 3 days or 4 days. This window will wait for 3 days or 4 days.
is there any timeout option, sir? After
Time
1 hour, it automatically.
I did not see any timeout option, but timeout option you need to keep it in some activities level. So I did not see any timeout option that you can configure in Tumbling window. We don't have any such type of option.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Now we'll see difference between schedule trigger and tumbling window trigger. You see, schedule trigger runs pipeline on a wall clock schedule based on some timing. Okay. Next, tumbling window are a series of fixed sized. We have seen hourly you can create a windows, or daily you can create a windows. Non-overlapping. It is not overlapping. Overlapping means, let's say for 1 hour, each hour means from, let's say today date, if you consider morning from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, one window, 2 to 3, one window. There is no overlapping. But if you go with schedule trigger, you may create some kind of a trigger which is going to run pipeline at 1 o'clock, and same it is going to run pipeline at 1:30 again. Now what happens? Two pipelines are going to overlap here, because 1 o'clock you triggered a pipeline that is keep on running. It is not ended within half an hour. It is still running. Your pipeline 2, same, what happens, same pipeline will you are going to run one more time at 1:30. Now what happened? 1 o'clock pipeline still executing. Now same pipeline you ran at 1:30, so two executions are going to overlap. But in tumbling window, such type of overlapping will not happen. Contiguous time interval. So you will have a continuous time intervals you'll have here. So we have seen, right? So after like every hour, if you take windows, you will have a continuous windows. Next, after schedule trigger is published, interval and frequency can be edited. So these you can edit whatever you scheduled, but whatever you created here, you cannot edit in tumbling window. That's why you need to create very, very carefully. Okay. Next, you can run pipeline for every minute here, but window time minimum 5 minutes you need to take. Window size at least should be a 5 minutes. Next, schedule trigger will not depends on any other trigger. You cannot create any dependency here, but in tumbling trigger we can create some kind of a dependency. Schedule trigger is many to many relationship. Tumbling window is a one-to-one relationship, as we discussed. Okay, clear? This is clear, friends. Any doubts in any points, please let me know. I will clarify.
One more difference is backfill is not possible in the schedule trigger, and tumbling window it's possible, sir. Correct,
That's
sir?
what here somewhere I mentioned dependency on trigger. Oh, that historical data we can process. Yes, backward data, that is nothing but historical data we can process in tumbling window, but in schedule we cannot process that historical data. Okay.
Yeah, Malay, I have one more doubt. Within time frame, you mentioned like within time frame, the tumbling window will be completed, like triggering. So in some cases, some internet issues, it will not complete. That time, what will do that one?
What it is going to do, it is going to start your another window. So that's why what you need to do is you need to create some kind of a self-dependency trigger. You need to create. What it means, if the previous window is successful, then only I want to start the next window. Such a type of dependency also you can able to create. Self-dependency trigger, that is called self-dependency trigger. You can create that kind of trigger as well.
Okay, Malay, thanks.
I will show you those things next.
Okay.
How to use tumbling trigger capture property. See, trigger dot start time. What it means, it will tell you what time trigger is starting. So we are creating trigger today, so trigger will start today itself, right? So this one output that window start time means window start time, when this window is starting. So if you are trying to process data from 2010, Windows start from 2010 ends. So window size, based on window size, it will give the window time. You can use these two properties, these two syntax to get the window start time and end time. Otherwise, you can use these two syntax, window start time and end time. Okay, even we have used event based capture properties. This is a tumbling triggered capture properties. Okay, prerequisites, we should know what is data lake storage Gen2. We already discussed about that. Key vault, we know. Tumbling trigger, Azure Data Factory, integration runtime and the types, linked service data set activities and pipelines. So we talked about all those things we know. Let's go to the required resources. I need Data Factory v2, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2, okay, Azure Key Vault. I need those three services. Okay, Key Vault. So Data Factory v2, Data Lake Storage Gen2, Key Vault. Those are the three services that I'm going to create now. Clear? Okay, let's come here. What I wanted. Tell me.
Yeah, this tumbling window, can we use for, like I understand about like past dated dates we can apply, but what if like can we use for future also? That is also possible, right?
Future, why you want to go to future? So do you know like what files will come in the future? How you will decide the future data? That is not possible.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, like let's say for example, like from upstream, like daily in a particular time, I will be getting a one file to one particular thing, and I want to trigger it, and then
Yes,
it will process
possible.
it.
You are saying future. Future means like next 10 days data I want to process now. That is not possible. Like whenever, like every hour from now, every hour I want to run based on from 8 o'clock I will schedule trigger. I will say yes, from 8 to 9 please run it. From 9 to 10 I want to run a trigger again. 10 to 11 I want to run a trigger. Something like that you can do it.
Okay, okay, got it.
Now let's create the data lake storage Gen2. Click on storage accounts. Click add to create the data lake storage Gen2. So you need to verify 1 or 2 times, otherwise it will be a lot of confusion. That's why I will also go a little bit slow. Okay, create a resource group. This is cloud Monday. We need to verify 1 or 2 times, friends, because if any mistake happened, you need to do everything from the scratch. Okay, so storage account name I will say cloud Monday ADLS Gen2 storage. Okay, how will create ADLS Gen2 storage? You know, all these details are same. Click networking, data production, keep everything as it is. In advanced, come down, you need to enable the hierarchical namespace to create the data lake storage Gen2. Click review plus create. Let's create it. Okay, now click on this. Let's go to portal.edge.com. Let's create our Azure Data Factory. Okay, here let's create data factory. Click on data factories. Click add data factories. Okay, here just select resource group is this, and the data factory name I will say cloud Pandit VIADF V2. Cloud Pandit. Yeah, let's see whether this name is available. Yes, this name is available. VIADF V2. Click Git configuration. I want to configure it later. Click review plus create. So one more update that I wanted to give you. So previously when we were using event-based trigger, right? We have some issues. That is like it is keep on giving the new IP address. That day we enabled Hello Azure services to connect to the SQL Server as well. So the reason for that is from Microsoft they are changing something. So that's why what happened in many projects in production, their application stopped working due to this IP addresses had changed, right? So that's why Microsoft has paid to many people. Like yesterday, one of our person who is attending Databricks session, right? He told me, so Microsoft has paid some 38,000 pounds or something to their client, because as Microsoft has changed some virtual network in backend, because of that, lot of IP address, like IP address was changing for every 10 minutes or something, and their production application stopped working. Okay, so don't think that it's our issue, it's from the Microsoft issue. Okay, now let me create our third service, that is Azure Keyword. You understood, friends? Whoever attended event based, that one only, right? I'm not sure in which session that issue we had. Different. Let's
Azure
search for
keyword session.
Azure keyword. Fine. Click on keywords. Let's create Azure keyword now. Let's go very slowly, friends, because if I go fast, you will not be able to understand. One thing is clear, even I will confuse if I explain fast. Okay, so that's why I need to go slowly. Cloud Pandit Azure keyword. Azure keyword. That's all. We'll see whether this name is available now. Cloud Pandit Azure keyword. You can say BI Azure keyword. AKV for, let's say this is basically for tumbling triggers. I would say TT. TT is nothing but a tumbling trigger. Okay. Now click access policies. So we know we need to add the Azure Data Factory here, right? Just to click add access policies. So select all these things, but actually we need to select only secret management. We are going to access secrets, but select everything. Click select. What I need to select here, Cloud Pandit BI ADF V2. Check 1 or 2 times before you grant the permission. You see the data factory name is Cloud Pandit BI ADF V2. Cloud Pandit BI ADF V2. Select this name. Click select. Okay, then click add. Finally, click review plus create. Running final validation. Running validation. Click create. So now I created the storage account, data factory, keyword, right? So let's do one thing. Go to storage account. Go to resource. First thing is I will go to access case. Okay, let's take the connection string. We need this connection string. Go to keyword. Okay, let's wait for some 10 to 15 seconds. It will create quickly only, it will not take much time. Once it is available, once keyword is available, we will keep this particular connection string in the keyword. Okay, go to resource. Click on secrets. Click generate / import. Here we need to say ADLS connection string. I will paste it here and create it. This is the name. Okay, let it be. Now go back to the same storage. Now click on overview. Okay, come down, click on containers. Click on container. Here I am going to create a container called let's create one, that is Cloud Pandit 1. Okay, Cloud Pandit 1 is my container name created. So it is created. Cloud Pandit 1 is created. Go inside this. So here I want to create a subfolder called 20. So do you like, let's process the 2020 data. It's not a current month. It's, I want to process previous month data. Okay, go inside this 2020 folder. I want to create here month. Which month? I want to process the 10th month data, October data. Okay, in this October, what data you have? I have a days, right? This is, let's say 01, meaning first date data I will have in this folder. Let's create a one more folder. This is 02. This is my second day data, October 2nd day. See here in this folder I have a 2020 October first data will have in this folder. October 2nd data will have in this folder. I will upload data as well. Let's create here 03. Let's create here 04. Let's create 05. Okay. Let's create here 06. Let's create here 07. You understood? I just created the like 7 days data. Okay, October 10th, 7 days data. I want to load it into maybe SQL database or wherever you want to load, you can load. You know, target how to set. But my what I want to do, I want to pick this data and maybe I want to load it into some other folder in same storage for now. Okay, for now, let's go into each folder. Let's upload the files. 01. Say I am 2020 October 1st. In this folder, I want to upload a data. Let's click here. Go into Cloud Pandit data set. Here, PDF files, not PDF files I created. Yes. So here, cust1 is the first day file. Let's upload this. Upload it. Let's go back. I will go to the second day. Go into second day. You see October 2nd. Upload file. I'm going to upload the. You're understanding, friends. So we have a historical data which is available in these folders, respective folders. Now I want to process this data, historical data. How to process? We'll see. Upload. First three. Let's click on 10. Go into 04. Upload. Select this. This is a 4th thread. See, I'm just uploading the respective files in the respective folder. 5th. On 5th, I am uploading the 5th file. Sixth, I am uploading 6th file. Uploaded. That. On 7th, what I wanted to do, I want to upload all the files. Let's upload all these files, including EMP. Everything I am uploading on the 7th. Okay. Now you see all these are the historical data. What I wanted to do, my trigger is going to process all these files. Only one copy activity I will use, one copy activity which is going to pick all this data and it is going to bring these things into outside. Okay, we'll talk about that now. Okay, so now this is clear, friends. Now you need to understand what I wanted to do. I want to load data into another container. Here I will say cloud CP1 output. Okay, CP1 output. CP1 output means what? So Cloud Pandit 1. See, this is Cloud Pandit 1. Cloud Pandit 1 output. So whatever data I have in this folder, entire data I want to load it into this folder. CP1 output folder. I want to load entire data. So here also I want to create here maybe 2020. Inside that I want to create a 10. Inside that I want to create a 01. As this I want to load data into this folder. Okay, who is going to do? My ADF is going to do all those things. You clear, friends, what I am trying to do now? Venkats are clear? Parmesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Clear, sir. Clear, sir.
You're just trying to copy the old files from one container to another container.
Correct. So this is a previous month, 10th October files I'm loading into my CP1 output. Okay, this folder. Okay, we'll see that now. Come to Azure Data Factory, click author and monitor.
As of now, we have created containers, right, Malaya?
Yes, this. Come to manage tab. Let's create a linked service. To what? Keyword. First we need to create a linked service to keyword. This is what keyword ls for Azure keyword. Through subscription, I want to identify my keyword. Test the connection. Connection will be successful 100%. Create it. Now publish this. Once you publish this linked service, then only you can use this linked service in other linked services. So let's publish, and we will wait for some 10 seconds. Okay, it is publishing is completed. Now click new. So to what service we need to connect? Data lake storage gen 2. Select data lake storage gen 2. Continue. This is what, friends? ls for ADLS gen 2. Okay. Auto resolve integration time, account key. So subscription is free trial. Storage account name is going to be something like this: Cloud Pandit ADLS gen 2. Let's test the connection. Connection successful. But what we need to do? We need to read these things from the keyword. But we made a mistake again today. That is, in Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, we cannot use the connection string. Instead of that, we can only read the account key. Now what I need to do? So go back to your storage, click on access keys, take the access key, store it in your Azure keyword, come to generate/import. So here what we need to do? Account key. What account key? ADLS account key. I will say ADLS account key. Okay, just to put that account key here and create it. Now I kept this ADLS account key. Take this name, come to ADF. Okay, so what you need to do? Storage account name. Go to Azure keyword, select this particular linked service, and you give the secret name. Now what happens? Storage account key we are reading from the Azure keyword, but storage account name and other details I need to provide as a URL. Okay, this is how to get that. Come here. This you cannot put it in your Azure, like in the where you cannot keep in Azure keyword, you cannot keep because that option is not available. So now what you need to do? Themes, like go to overview. Here you will have a URL. So there is no URL here also. Let's form the URL. Take the name of storage. Come to Data Factory. Here see the structure is https://account name.dfs.core.windows.net. So I will use same thing, https://storage account name.dfs.core.windows.net/. Now test the connection. Now you understood. I formed the URL manually and key I am reading from the Azure keyword because we already tried to provide the connection string, but the connection string is not, we cannot provide because that option is not included in this linked service. But for any other, like for SQL database, for blob storage, we have seen it will allow the connection string. But here it will not allow connection string. You need to provide storage details or hard coded, and the account key only you can able to read it from the keyword. That we have done it. Everybody is clear on this? Pawan, clear? Venkat sir?
Clear, sir. Thank you.
Bhargav, clear? Bharat?
Clear, Malaya. Thank you.
Nagarjuna? Ram?
Yes, Malaya.
Right. So let's create this. Okay, I created this. Now come to author tab. Let's create this pipeline. I'm creating a pipeline. What this pipeline is going to do, it is going to copy data from PL to copy data from ADLS to ADLS, PL data ADLS gen 2 to AD. Let's put just ADLS to ADLS. Okay, Azure Data Lake Storage to Azure Data Lake Storage. Now expand this, bring the copy data activity. Okay, go to source. I want to create my source. Can you tell me what is my source? Data Lake Storage Gen 2, friends. Okay, Data Lake Storage Gen 2. From Data Lake Storage Gen 2, I am reading the data. So what type of files we uploaded? CSV, text CSV files. Continue. This is a DS for data set for ADLS and the source. This is a source. Okay, data set for Azure Data Lake Storage, and this is a source. Let's use the linker service, this one, and container name and other things I need to provide dynamically. But now the container name, what is the container name? Cloud Pandit, isn't it, friends? Cloud Pandit 1 is going to be our container name. Let's come back to storage, click on this container, you can check it. The container name is going to be our Cloud Pandit 1. This is my source, so I'm providing Cloud Pandit 1. So I have 2020 1001, those things I need to get it dynamically. So how to get those things, how to pass those things, we will discuss. Okay, we know it's a CSV files, means we need to check this, and we need to tell that first to as header, meaning headers are available in my CSV files. Click OK. Importing schema, all those things you know. Go to sync. Let's create a sync data set. Sync data set is also to the same storage, Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Continue. CSV files I want to load, but you want to load it as something else, that is possible. Okay, here DS Azure ADLS for with a sync. This is a sync data set. Use the linker service, same linker service. My file system where I want to load data in CP1 output. Here I want to load the data, but I need to create 2020. Those folders will come dynamically. First to as header. Yes, I am loading as a CSV. I want to write with headers. So as this folder is available, you can import schema, no issue. Click OK. Now what you need to do, you see source and the sync. We just selected the Cloud Pandit, but inside Cloud Pandit 1, inside this Cloud Pandit 1, we have a multiple subfolder. Those folder names we need to pass it dynamically. Now how you can do that? So come here. So from now it's a new learning. Please focus on this. Before I proceed further, we need to create a data set parameters, friends. I will tell you the reason for data set parameters. Click on source data set. Okay, click parameter, click new. So from here it's something new. Okay, this is I'm going to say Windows start time, WS. Okay, here I'm giving Windows start time. This parameter I'm going to use here, but I will come back because we need to use, I cannot use directly this Windows start time date here. I need to do some kind of process. I will tell you what I need to do. Come to sync. Here I need to sync data set side also. I need to open the Windows start date. Okay, I created the two parameters. Now come back to pipe. See, source side you have parameter open, sync side parameter open. Okay, please be in mute everybody. Now please focus, friends. Bhargav, please be in mute. Okay, fine. So source and sync. Now source side parameter came and sync side parameter came. Now how you will provide value to this is you need to receive the parameter values from the pipeline. A pipeline parameter. Here in pipeline parameter, I will take three things. Tumbling trigger captured properties. I have mentioned tumbling trigger captured properties. What all things it is going to give? Trigger start time. Trigger start time it will give. I need to take a trigger start time. Next, window start time. It will give window start time. Next, it will give window end time. It will give. Understood? These three things it will give. Now what I wanted to do, Windows start time. I want to, so let's say Windows start time is 10:01. next window is going to start from 10:02. Next window will start from 10:03. So now I will take that particular date and time. Okay. So these parameters I need to use in the data set. Come here, add dynamic content. Here I will use this parameter, that is window start time. For data set parameter, I'm passing this. For sync, come here, click add dynamic content. I'm going to start the window start time. Okay. Now let's focus on only one thing. That is, I'm going to start my window at 2020 October 1st, 1 o'clock. Then what is my window start time? Please tell me, what is my window start time? My window start time is 2020 10:01. Isn't it, friends? Is it clear? 2020 10:01 is my window start time, first window. So that particular window start time I am passing to this particular data set, sync data set and source data set. Now these things I need to use within the data sets. Come here, that value is available in your, for this parameter, that value you assign start time, window start time, that I need to use here, add dynamic content. Here how you need to use that particular date will come something like this. That will come something like this, 2020 10:01 will come. So now what will come, and it will come something like this. Okay, so I'm going to receive something like this. Now what I need to do in this I need to use a first thing is @replace function I need to use, and I need to say I need to pass this entire string. This entire string is nothing but I have assigned to a like data set parameter dot ws window start time. So to this parameter I have assigned. So if you want to receive everything, you need to use this. Next, comma. Here you need to say what you need to replace. Instead of slash, instead of, oh sorry, by default here you will get something hyphen. Sorry, you will get hyphen. I want to replace hyphen with slash. Okay, so that's why I'm going to say in this particular date time I want, instead of hyphen I want a slash. Okay, now this will give you results something like this, 2020 0 it will give something 10:01. Okay, 2020/10/01. Next it will also give 010000. Okay, now in this I want only these three folders, right? I want 2020 folder, under that I have a 10th folder, I have a 01 folder. I need to read only these three information. So now you need to take the substring. So you need to say on this result, you need to pass it to the substring function. Okay, in this substring function you need to pass this result. If you want to pass that result, you need to use this function here, and you need to say from 0th index, from 0 meaning from 2 I want up to 1. So how you will get, this is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So you have a 9, meaning up to 10th index. If you give up to 1 it will give. So if you give 10th index, 10 minus 1 up to 9th index it will give, up to 01 it will give you. So this is the dynamic query I need to pass it here to get the 2020 10:01 dynamically. Okay, now you see I'm going to form it here. First, substring. The substring function, how it will work. See here it is saying we have a some value. See down you can see that some examples it will give. You can say returns a subset of characters from a string. For example, the following expression substring, some value foo some value 10,3. What it means, from 10th index it is going to give you 3 values. Okay, from 10th index it is going to give you 3 values. Now what you need to do, I'm going to take the, so from 0th index I wanted 10 characters, meaning from 2024 this is 5, this is 5, total 10 characters I'm going to take. Okay, so that's why I need to call this substring function. But by default my date is something like this. Before I pass my date, like before I pass this date, paying date, I need to replace these hyphens with slash. That's why I will use something called replace here. Select replace. In this replace, what you need to pass? You need to pass here this data set parameter. In this data set parameter, you need to say here have hyphen. Instead of that, I need to replace this slash Then you need to tell here from 0th index, I wanted 10 characters. This should be fine. Okay, this will work now. Clear, friends? Click. So same thing we need to use in other cases also. That's why copy, finish it. See, I'm putting here. So what it will give? So Cloud Pandit 1 slash. So you already have a Cloud Pandit 1 slash. So here what I'm doing, I'm replacing, I'm taking only this part and I'm putting here. So now what happens? You are forming a path Cloud Pandit 1 2020 1001. So for first window, this will be 2020 1001. For second window, you will receive start time is 2. Here it will be a 2. Here it will be a 2. So likewise, the path will iterate one by one. Okay. Now copy the same content because I need the same content. And where I need to put this? I need to put it in a sync data set. Sync data set also parameter is WS. Now come here, put this here, add dynamic content. Let me keep it here, finish it. Okay. Now go to pipeline. Now everything is ready with respect to this. I need to create a trigger, tumbling trigger, add trigger, new slash edit trigger. So what type of trigger? New trigger. This is a Cloud Pandit TT1. Okay, tumbling trigger 1. So select tumbling window. Here you see the start UTC time. The start date is not November. It should start from October 1st. What time it should start? From 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. Okay, click OK. Okay, I click start time is this. So how frequently you want to run? I want to run for 24 hours load. It should be a 24 hours format. Every 24 hours it should run, not for every 5 minutes, right? Next. What is the end time? When it should end? My data is available up to October 8th. October 8th, if you give, you'll have it is going to read only till October 7th folder. Windows start time is October 7th only. End time is 8 if you give. Okay. So with this, if you create the trigger, it will just process it will read files from 1 to 7th folder, because first window is going to be 2020 October Jan 1 o'clock to the next day 1 o'clock, that is 2020 October 2nd. That is first window. Second window is October 2nd to October 3rd. Next window 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. Total you will have the, so let's focus here. So first window is 1 to 2. Next window is 2 to 3, October 2 to 3. Next window 3 to 4. Next window 4 to 5. Next window 5 to 6. Next window 6 to 7. Next window 7 to 8. So now how many windows you got? 7 windows total. Meaning now the start time you see here, October 1st, October 2nd till October 7th. Meaning as we have October 7th, I also created a folders up to October 7th. So you are going to process all these 7 days data. Now come down, click on advanced. So see, you have a dependency that I'm going to create a next lab is that one. Okay. First lab will go with very easy things. Delay. So before you run second window, do you want to put any delay time? I don't want to put any delay time. Max concurrency. How many windows you want to run at a time? Let's say if you give 2 windows at a time, it is going to run 2 windows at a time. Now meaning from January 1st to January 2nd, that is window 1. January 2nd to January 3rd is one more window. Now what happens? These 2 windows will run at a time, meaning pipeline will run 2 times at same time. Pipeline will run 2 times. Once these 2 times is successful, again it will start for 2 more times. 2 more windows means from 3 to 4, 4 to 5, something like that. I'm giving max concurrencies to. If it has anything is failed, so I want to retry with a time of 120 minutes. Before this, we can able to correct if at all any changes required. Retry policy. Retry policy means how many times you want to retry if something failed. I want to retry 2 times if something failed. Okay. Clear? With this, I'm activating the trigger. Click OK. As we have created the pipeline parameters, it will ask you to enter the pipeline details. Trigger start time, how will you create is trigger dot start time. Okay, come here. Trigger window start time, how to create is trigger outputs dot window start time. Okay, same thing you can copy and paste it. Trigger, outputs, window, end time. If you are giving wrong names, wrong parameters, your trigger will not activate. Trigger will fail. Okay. Trigger, outputs, window, end time. Trigger, start time. Trigger, start time. Clear. Click OK. Now just publish all those things. Yeah, so you are not providing the file names, right? So what you need to do, you need to select that. So in that one folder, even if you in 7th folder we have a multiple files, so when we have a multiple files to process from a particular folder, we need to use the wildcard. We know that. Okay, just to mention wildcard, click publish all. It is publishing now. Click publish. Once it is published, directly come to monitor tab. Once that is published, immediately your pipeline will run two times. See, it is published, it will start executing pipeline two times. It will start. See, one time started, it will start one more time. See, two times it will start. What is the window timing? We'll see that. Okay, click here and see. First window started from 10:02 to 03. This is the first trigger, I think. First window is this one. See, 1 to 2. From January 1st to October 1st to October 2nd. This is from October 2nd to October 3. So two windows started at the same time. As these two windows finished, next two windows started again. Next two windows is like October 3 to 4, 4 to 5. This is 4 to 5. Are you able to understand, friends? This is finished. Again, it will start two more windows. It will start, don't worry. See, it is succeeded, it is starting. So sometimes like you will not be able to see the parallelism, but it will execute parallelly only. So total 7 windows. See, this is our final window. As we don't have our final window, that's why like as we don't have 2 windows, right? So total 7 windows. See, total 6. So if you refresh, that will total 7 windows. You can see total 7 times it is executed. Everything it is processed. All these dates are the past dates. You see here, all these are the past dates. Now you will see the parameters. Trigger start time means what time this trigger is started. This time, this window start time is October 2, October 3. From 2 to 3 data, it is processing from 1 to 1. You understood? Window start time is here again, something like this, 1 to 1, from 1 to 2. For like every day, window means something like this. This is clear. Now let's go to the storage account. Let's refresh this. Go inside the CP1 output. See 2020 folder came. You see 10th folder came. Inside this you see 1 to 7 folders created automatically, and we have all the files available. In 7th we uploaded everything, so everything came. If you open randomly 4th, you will have a 4th file. Is it clear? First lab is finished. So second lab I'm going to do if everybody is clear on this.
Sir, one small doubt, sir. Sir, in real time, what is the value we'll give in the, like, what is that, concurrency, retry option? What is the values we'll give, sir? Real time.
Retry option, because in real time we will not go and fix immediately, right? So retry option, we will give something 2 times we will retry. Okay? And like that retry interval, right? The wait time we will give some 50 seconds, something like that. Why I have given 120 seconds? The reason is maybe if something goes wrong, I can able to fix it within 2 minutes, right? That's why I have given 120 seconds. But in real time, we will do something 60 seconds, and 2 times we will retry. If 2 times it is failed, we cannot do anything, right? So that's it.
What about concurrency, sir?
Concurrency, so that is depends. So if you have a good resource, so you can able to process up approximately 50 windows. You can process.
So in interview, if I say 10 minutes, they will agree, sir. 10.
You can tell them 50, because we will use 50 windows.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, this is clear, right? Now I want to create a one more. So first thing that I want to do is I want to delete this trigger. The reason I will tell you, because you will confuse, because I'm going to create the dependency trigger. You will confuse. That's why I want to delete the existing trigger and I want to recreate the triggers for two pipelines. You can publish it. Now come to author tab. See, this is my pipeline one. See, you don't have any trigger for this pipeline. In the same way, I want to create a new pipeline. Create a new pipeline. Okay, this is clear to all of you. Okay, let's do one thing. I don't want to confuse you. Click delete this. Delete. I have not done anything, friends. Let's just let it be here. Now go back to the storage. Okay, Cloud Pandit one. In the same way, I want to create one more container here. Cloud Pandit 2. Okay, whatever data I have in Cloud Pandit 2, that should be loaded into CP2 output. How you understood? Okay, CP1, CP2, I have two folders, output folders. You know, CP2 I just created, you don't have any data in this. You don't have anything. We have some data in CP1. Let's delete everything because I'm going to run pipeline once again. Let's delete this folder itself. It is going to delete all the subfolders. Now you see CP1 output, CP2 output, both are empty. Cloud Pandit 1 is having files. Cloud Pandit 2, inside this, I will put the files now. Instead of putting this, you can do something different. So very easily you can do, that is, don't confuse. So I'm just leaving this, I'm just deleting this instead of taking this much risk, right? So this is a Cloud Pandit 1 folder. I have CP1 and a CP2 output. Now what I wanted to do, I will pick the file from Cloud Pandit 1. I will try to load it into the CP1 output. Once it is successfully loaded, then only I need to pick the file and load it into the CP2 output. So this is the dependency, right? Once I load successfully into CP1 output, then only I need to load the file into the CP2 output. How you can do that? Now come to pipeline. I created a pipeline. Let's clone this pipeline, same pipeline. Okay, this one I will say this is a, this one you can say 2. Okay, this is my second pipeline. Okay, this is pipeline 2, this is pipeline 1. What is the difference between these two? Pipeline 1 will be as this. In pipeline 2 is going to load, sync is going to change. The sync is, go to sync. You need to create a new sync, because in this copy activity, I need to load data into a another folder. That's why I need to create a new data set. Click new data lake storage into, click continue. As a CSV files, click continue. This is what, friends? It's a DS or ADLS, and this is which folder? CP2 sync. I'm saying this is a CP2. CP2 is the folder it is targeting. Okay, this is a connection. Select this. So where you want to load this output, I want to load it into CP2 output folder. First was the header, you know. Here I need to pass the dynamic content. I will tell you how to pass that. Okay, now, so this is the one. Go into this data set. You need to create a parameter because you need to pass the start date here also. WS window start time. This window start time I need to use here. But what is the query? That query we already formed here somewhere. Just bring it from some here. Let's copy this. Same thing I'm going to use in this. See, this is my CP2 sync. Here I'm going to use this. Okay, substring replace. Like that window start time, I'm replacing hyphen with the slash, and I'm taking the year, month, and day. Now everything is set, friends. My first pipeline is going to copy data from Cloud Pandit 1 to CP1 output. My pipeline 2 is going to copy same file from Cloud Pandit 1 to the CP2 output. So that is a dependency. Once I copied successfully file into CP1 output, then only I need to load the file into CP2 output. For that, click add trigger, new slash. See, I'm creating a trigger in my first pipeline, new trigger. This is, you can say CP1. This is a CP1 trigger. Okay, CP1 means this is for first output. Tumbling window trigger. From what time it should start? It should start from let's say October 1st. Okay, and what time it should start from? 1 o'clock. 1 minute. Click OK. Sorry. Okay, this is the start time, October 1st, 1 a.m. So every 24 hours I want to run. Next, specify end time. End time is going to be here. Let's say end time is 8. Okay, click what the start time is 1 till end time. End time is this one only. You understood? 1 to October 1 to October 8. Again, I will have a 7 windows here. Go to advanced. Here I want to load one by one. I don't want max concurrency 50. I want to load one by one. I don't want to confuse you. That's why I'm going with one by one. Okay, read rate policy, everything. So read rate policy I will put 2, and the interval in seconds is 120 minutes. I'm keeping. Okay, trigger is activated. Click OK. Trigger start time. So same at the rate trigger dot start time. Okay, here at the rate trigger outputs dot window start time. Trigger outputs window end time. This should be window end time. Okay, so with these details, click OK. Okay, this is trigger 1 I created. Now go to your pipeline 2. I want to create a trigger. Click new slash edit. This, click new trigger. This is what? This is CP2 tumbling window trigger. This is also going to start from, let's say this is going to start from October 2nd, 1 a.m. Click OK. Now it is also 24 hours format. Minutes is like 24 hours. End time is, you can say this is, let's say this is going to end at 8 only. This is also okay. Okay. Start date is UTC. Now click on advanced. So now Murli has asked one question. So how you can say, how you let's say that dependency, right? So self dependency means you need to give CP2 itself. This CP2. If you give CP2, that is self dependency. If previous window of this trigger is succeeded, then next window will start. If you want to give another trigger, that is CP1 I am giving. Now offset is here, it's a day. This is hours, this is minutes, this is seconds. So I need to say next previous day is successful in the CP1. Then I need to start the CP2. Previous day. That's why 0, 0, 0, 0. -1. Offset is -1. Window size is same. Window size I am not changing. Window size is going to be 0, 0. Now max concurrency I want to run 1. Retry is 1, like approximately 2 times. Interval is 120 minutes. I'm activating the trigger. You understood now? Dependency is this CP2 is dependent on CP1, and CP1 previous day -1 means CP1 previous day is successful. CP2 will run now. Okay, CP1 is successful executed yesterday. Yesterday window is successful for CP1. CP2 current window will execute. Okay, -1 offset. Click OK. Now you need to provide the trigger start time at the rate trigger dot start time at the rate trigger outputs dot start window start time. At the rate trigger outputs start window end time, window start time, everything is fine. Click OK. Now with these details, let's publish. No value provided for parameter WSS. So we know, right, in here you need to provide what you need to pass for this data set parameter, window start time. Click publish all. Click publish all. Deploying changes to the factory. Publishing deployed 4 of 4 resources. Publishing is completed. Now come to monitor tab to see. Go to trigger runs. It will tell you if at all any errors. See, CP1 is started. CP2 is waiting on dependency. CP1 is already started running. So it should show here in pipelines. CP1 is successful, but now CP1, CP2 both will run. The CP2 is running, okay, because CP1 previous CP1 is successful, then only CP2 will start executing. See, CP1 also started executing. Now we understood CP1, CP2. So dependency. That's why once CP1 is succeeded, then only CP2 is executing. CP1 will start sometimes immediately, sometimes it will take some time, right? That's why you are not able to see. But we may see at a time CP1 and CP2 both will start executing. Please be in mute.
Sir, what is the difference between the pipeline runs and trigger runs, sir?
Pipeline run means pipeline execution. Trigger runs means trigger execution. So there we are able to see the dependency, all the information about the triggers. Here you will be see about your pipeline. Pipeline runs here. This is about your triggers, whatever triggers you created. You see here. If you go inside, you will have activities, but here you are not going anywhere. These are the trigger information. This is tumbling window. Okay. Here, if you go inside these pipelines, you will have activities, all those things. See CP1, CP2, CP1, CP2, CP1, CP2, CP1.
Sir, it is executing like CP1 day first and next CP2 day first. Like that it is executing.
I will show you that output. Let's see now.
Okay.
See, this is CP1. When it is executed, the window is 1 to 2. Now let's go to the CP2. This is for 2 to 3. Offset we have given -1, meaning 2 to 3. For one CP2 for first window, if you want to run, this CP1 previous day it should run, meaning August is 9th month, right? August some 31st or something. How many days?
September 30.
31 days, right? So 31 CP1 August 31 should run if you want to run a CP2 October 1st, because previous trigger is dependent. Now here you see it's a 2 to 3. Now this 2 to 3 is dependent on here 3 to 4. Okay. Again here 3 to 4 trigger ran. So once 3 to 4 is completed, here it's a 4 to 5. Understood? So previous day, if CP1 is succeeded from October 1st window, CP2 will execute for October 2nd window, because October 2nd window of CP2 is dependent on the October 1st of window 1, like CP1. Clear or any doubts, friends?
Yes,
So
yes.
if this is ran October 1, this will run October 2nd, because if October 2nd it should run, then it dependent on the October 1st. Here it is running October 3rd. This is dependent on October 2nd window of CP1. Here October 4th. October 4th, if you want to run here, October 3rd of CP1 is dependent offset. Okay, clear? So now come here, go inside. If you go to CP2 output, you will not have first window, because first window you are not making offset 0, you are saying offset -1. So that's why from here you will have a 2 to 7. One first window will you will not execute, because we started window from second. The reason is we are using offset -1. So you need to practice, and then you will come to know each and everything. Okay.
Sir, is it possible to run like 1 to 7? After that, 2 to 7 CP2. If you are running like CP1, CP2, sometimes we'll get confusion.
That's what I'm saying. You need to increase your window size. So for 7 days, how many hours you need to mention? You need to mention those many days.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Sir, here window size means like if it is window size 3 means we are running 3 pipelines, right? Window size means.
If 3 pipelines, like window size 3 means, let's say CP1 is executed 3 times, then CP2 will execute 1 time. 3 days of data in CP1 is dependent on a 1 day of CP2. The diagram I have shown you here, right? Here I have shown you CP 2 hours data. So window size, here you increase the window size, right? See, window size is 2 hours, meaning this window successfully executed, then only it will execute this window.
Okay, sir. Clear, sir.
That's all for today, friends. Thank you.